ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Very, very good looking woman, Gal Gadot.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. Vulture Build-A-Wing figures, tech suit, or web wing Spider-Man. If you're trying to pick this up, it eventually will be available at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Now, I did buy this figure overseas. It did take a while, and I did pay a fairly hefty price. I guess twice as much as what it'd go for at retail. But I do have it here to review for you guys, and I do have my last Build-A-Figure piece that I will need to complete the Vulture. So I'm excited for that. It looks pretty good already, looking at it in the package. Like on the top, once again, we do get the movie version of the Spider-Man logo, spot varnished on the very top. I like seeing that again. And then on the side, you get Tom Holland and Spidey. Then on the very back, you get a product shot. There's a read-up over here. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it now. Then you can see all the other figures from the wave. Then there's the Build-A-Wing Vulture. And then on this side, you get Tom Holland again. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the web-wing Spider-Man out of the packaging, and I thought this was going to be a simple repaint, but Hasbro has actually given us a lot more than I thought we were going to get with this figure. I gotta say, first off, I really like it. I really like it a lot. I think it looks great. We're getting a lot of paint apps on this figure, like we did with the Civil War 3-pack version, but we do get different paint apps on this, which I like a lot, as well with a different head sculpt, and of course we get the interchangeable hands as you guys saw in the packaging, and we get the wings right over here, which I gotta say, when you're opening this thing, make sure you're doing it over a surface, because I clumsily opened mine in my lap and then took it out of the package, and all of a sudden I found myself digging around on the floor on my hands and knees looking for the little wings right over here, which are hard to find because they are transparent. But yeah, other than that, I do think this is a great piece. Let's take a closer look. So yeah, getting a closer look at these web wings, which I think is great that they've incorporated this into our most modern Spider-Man. I think that's very cool. They already gave us those Romita-style eyes that we had first seen, or the ability for him to have those Romita-style eyes, and then now we're getting these wings. I think it's great. I really like it. I do think they could have been a little bit bigger though. As you can see how the right wing is applied right there. There's a significant amount of gappage, so if you want it, you know, just flush to the body, you kind of have to push down like that. And I do think they're sculpted really well. I do like how they look. You can feel all the rivets and everything from that webbing pattern. And then I'll demonstrate porting this in right here. You can see at the bottom of his arm, we do get that space right there, and you just plug it in like so. It doesn't stay in there as nicely as I'd like it to. As you can see, it just does pop right out if you're not careful with it. So yeah, you do want to be careful with these. You don't want to lose them, but yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I just think that they could have been made a little bit bigger if we're going to use them as web wings. Also, this porting system right here, I guess maybe if we had 2 ports, I don't know. You don't want to put too many holes in the figure though. So if they're just a little bit bigger, maybe if this tabbed in a little bit better too, that would be nice, but I'm still glad that they're there. So this figure comes with interchangeable hands, which is great. We didn't get interchangeable hands with the Civil War version, and we do have them now. And I love that we're getting these fisted hands right here, and we get these web shooting hands right over there. You can see a little bit of paint, and a little pelito right there. That's my fault, but yeah, just a little bit of paint chipping right there. These look really good. I like how they're sculpted. Of course, I would have liked a pair of wall crawling hands. I always like the wall crawling hands. Those are very fun, you know. But yeah, these look pretty nice. I like that they've used this gray paint throughout on all of the cobwebbing, even on the figure itself. Now, if you wanted to take the Civil War version, go ahead and port one of these in. You can do so. And that's the wrong hand. And shabow. Goes right in there just fine. Doesn't really match up because they used a lot of black paint on the cobwebbing pattern over here as opposed to the gray over here. But still, if you really wanted to make that work, you could. So the figure does come with 2 head sculpts, and before we really get into those, I just wanted to compare this figure to some images that I had snapped during this 3rd trailer that we'd gotten, which actually doesn't reveal as much as I thought it would, so I'm kind of stoked about that. But anyway, this does look very accurate, especially with the color of the cobwebbing right over here. During various lighting scenarios, it does look like a light gray as opposed to black from what we'd seen with the Civil War version right over here. And I did think that these were actually the same figure, just retooled, but they're not. But anyway, getting onto this head sculpt, I do like it. I think this is very cool. I do like how we're getting this nice texture right over here, so that's pretty awesome. You do get a little bit of bleeding from this gray, but you know, it bothers me a little bit, but not that much. It's definitely there. What actually bothers me more so is that the eyes aren't as clean as I'd like them to be. I don't know, I just feel like there's just a little bit of black paint leaking into the white portion right over there, so I don't really like that too much. On the right side you can see a little bit of that happening over there. So yeah, that does bother me some, especially with the left eyepiece. But I do like how much wider this head sculpt is compared to the Civil War version. I feel like this definitely looks a lot more like the Tom Holland head sculpt, or the shape of Tom Holland's head. Anyway, moving on to the second head sculpt. Pop that off, yeah, pop that on, and then we got wide open eyes, and that looks great. I'm very pleased with this. Much cleaner paint for the eyes too. There could have been a little bit more gray paint in some of these cobweb patterns, but still looks pretty good. So yeah, this is my preferred head sculpt out of the two of them. I really like it a lot. It would be nice to get a half masked version where he's eating food, you know what I mean? I thought that was very cool that they showed that in the trailer. I thought that was great. But yeah, I'm missing some gray paint. You know, this one does seem to be a lot more generously applied than this one right here as far as that gray paint goes. So, but still, I do like this head sculpt more. I just think that looks very cool. I'm very pleased with that. Anyway, looking on to the rest of the figure, again, I originally thought that this was just a retooled version of this, but it's a completely different figure, man. You can even see the grooves right here aren't nearly as deep as they are on the Civil War version. These cuts inside the figure are much deeper. I mean, I'm sure they may have, you know, used some of the files that they had, because this is all 3D, you know, computer generated stuff. Nobody's sculpting by hand anymore, right? At least at Hasbro anyway. So yeah, you could see that, you know, they could have possibly have, you know, taken some stuff from this, but, you know, for the most part, this looks brand new to me. We get a brand new, more accurate version of the spider symbol right there. Nicely sculpted, painted very nicely as well. The musculature looks really good. We get this texturing throughout on the whole thing. I really like these lines right here. It looks very good. I like the muscle definition and everything. I mean, just comparing once again, see how this comes to a point right over there, and that doesn't have a point. It flattens out right above the crotch. And then nice lines right over there on the legs, so that looks really great. I'm liking that. The boots look good. Very happy with this. And then you get the peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and they still have paint right over there. And looking at the arms, I think this looks great as well. You know, we kind of saw the arms a little bit earlier, but, you know, I just want to show them off again. I really do wish that we had wide open hands, you know. While they'd given us 2 pairs of interchangeable hands, having, you know, another set of wide open hands would have been great. And you can see the pegs right over here. That's a little bothersome. So now these pegs, the way this works, and oh, actually I had this stuck on me. I just need to mention that I needed to heat this up with a hairdryer, or else I felt like I was going to break it. So if you get any parts that are stuck, make sure you heat them up with a hairdryer, because you don't want to break your figure. And then the pin did come out on this right over here. So one day I hope to see Hasbro come up with a multicolored pin so that it's you know, blue on one side and red on the other. But I can imagine that could be a little tricky to develop, but you know, I don't know, they're trying out there, man. It could happen in the future. Now, as far as the articulation with this tech suit Spider-Man, it is essentially the same as the other version. I mean, you can move his head up very far, so that's great, and you can move his head very far downward as well. You get side-to-side movement, and you do get a little bit of head pivot. One thing worth mentioning is that there is no cobweb pattern sculpted in the disc hinge right over here. Just felt I need to mention that. Anyway, we do get a butterfly joint right here, looking really good. I like how it's sculpted inside there, looking on the back of it right here. Did a good job with that. There's a little bit of plastic rubbing going on right over here though. I can see a couple of knots. That could be bothersome for some people, but it doesn't bother me too much. Shoulders move outward that much. They move down all the way, and you can rotate 360. You get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that bend in that far, and you can get the wrists swiveling side to side, and they hinge up and down. It's like that with all 4 hands. You get an ab crunch that bends forward that much and bends back that much. You get a waist swiveler, and then you get the hip joints that move outward only that far. far. He kicks forward that much and not back at all. You get an upper thigh cut, as well as some twisting at the hip joint right over there, as you can see that move. And you also get thigh joint. Of course, you get the doublet jointed knees. Then the ankles move down. They do move up, and you get some great ankle pivot. Now to measure out this Spider-Man figure, you can see that he's standing right at 6 inches tall. And then for your Marvel Legends Tom Holland Spider-Man comparison, we have our new Homecoming version right there, and then we have the Civil War version. And yeah, man, this is a much better figure. I like this one so much more than this one right over here. And for those of you that are interested in some head swappage, you definitely can do that. I don't really like it so much. I mean, it works well with this one right here, but yeah, I mean, just let this figure be, man. It's a better figure. And then comparing this tech suit Spider-Man to the homemade suit Spider-Man, you can see that they are standing the same height. The head on this one does look a little bigger though. And if you wanted to do some head swappage, it doesn't really work out so well. Yeah, the head pegs don't really match over here, so yeah, and it looks weird. I mean, why would you want to do this? I'm just trying to be as thorough as possible here. And for your cinematic Spider-Man comparison, we have our Maguire Tobey Spider-Man, and then we have the Garfield Andrew Spidey, and our Holland Tom Spider-Man right over there. These are all the second appearances of these different versions of Spider-Man, so, you know, I can't really say which one is my absolute favorite at this point in time. I still have to see the Homecoming movie. I mean, I'm already really loving it, but just based on these three figures right over here, which one is your favorite? I'm gonna put a poll up right there. Hopefully I don't forget, but yeah, please cast your vote and let me know which of these three is your favorite. I can't really say right now which one is mine, but I'll cast a vote as well. And then here's our 6-inch Tom Holland figure next to the 4-inch or 3 3/4 inch scale Tom Holland figure. And yeah, I mean, you can just see how this just looks much better. A lot more paint on there, but this guy is still not bad. I still like that little figure. Tom Holland Spider-Man party, yeah! Hey everyone, hey everyone, hey everyone, hey everyone.
Holy shit!
Then I want to compare the Marvel Legends Chameleon body with the Tony Stark movie head sculpt on there, and I do wish this Chameleon body was just a little bit larger. I don't really think these two fit into scale well. And then comparing this new tech suit Spider-Man figure to your average 6-inch Marvel Legend, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time No Letdown Spider-Man. So yeah, I really like this new Spider-Man figure a lot. I don't know, it may be our best cinematic Spider-Man figure that we've ever had. I really like all the interchangeable hands. We get interchangeable heads, a lot of articulation, even though we don't get the toe articulation, but still a very good figure. I gotta say the biggest downside for me though is the web wings. I just wish they stayed in there better, and I wish they were a little bit bigger. I don't know, just based off of the images that I had seen, or the promo images, it just looked like they're gonna be bigger wings, and it was gonna help us replicate that scene of him jumping off that Washington Monument. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this figure. Let me know what you think of this review. If you have not subscribed and you want to see more ShartimusPrime videos coming your way, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed and you have not hit the notification bell, what are you doing, man? Go ahead and hit that bell, just so you know immediately when the next ShartimusPrime video is coming your way. And I have to give a big thank you to all these people over here for making sure this YouTube channel keeps going. And for those of you who are non-patrons, you have them to thank as well. And if you want to see a photo gallery of images, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
We're shot in your face. I said we're shot in your face. I said we're shot in your face. I said we're shot in your face.